Joining me now is comedian and host of Prime Time with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex, what is going on in New York? Will we have this 33-year-old become mayor?
You know, I hate to say it, Rita, but I think he is, possibly going to win. And I think New York kind of, they get what they deserve. And if they want to try radical socialism, go ahead and find out. I know California had some terrible fires because they didn't have, water to put out these fires. Lord have mercy if there's a terrible fire in New York City and they don't have water to put it out. So if they want to go this direction, that's why we live in a democracy. And if these people want to choose to go that route, buyer beware is all I can say when it comes to the citizens of New York City.
Well, I think we're going to see a new influx of New Yorkers moving to your state, Texas or Florida and Tennessee. We have seen that internally in the US for some time now. Californians and New Yorkers fleeing these blue states, going to red states like Texas and Florida, but sometimes they keep voting the same way, so it can be a bit of a danger. Now, Joe Biden or whoever was pulling his strings put this woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson, on the Supreme Court. Remember this?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
Yes, on the Supreme Court, but can't tell you what a woman is. But since becoming SCOTUS, we've seen that justice wowing us with theatrics, literally.
Like I hate it. Which makes me think it must be brilliant. Got this feeling in my body.
And ABC News reports that Justice Brown Jackson has unloaded on her Supreme Court colleagues in a series of sharp dissents, castigating them for what she called a pure textualism approach to interpreting the law. Yes, we can't really rely on the text, Alex. We've got to just go with the feelings and vibes, I guess.
She is the DEI vibe Supreme Court justice, so I'm surprised that she doesn't want to have to look at words and go by, the laws that are written in a book. So I'm honestly not surprised because she can't define a simple question like, what is a woman? She can't say that there's many biological differences, when it comes to chromosomes or body parts. I mean, there's just so many differences between a man and a woman, and she wants to try to placate as if they're the same. So this is who's in power, and there's always going to be one of these DEI people that are there. And I think it's almost good in a way so we can kind of weed out who is making the wrong decision in the Supreme Court. Sadly, I think they're going to have a job for life. Supreme Court justices don't go anywhere, so it stinks that she's going to have a job forever. But at least we know that she's kind of, the dumb one. So however she votes, we know the opposite of it is probably the way that we should be voting.
I would argue there's another one on that in that court that's even dumber, but we'll argue about that another day. But yeah, she's got some competition there, I can tell you. Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, he's not going to testify at his trial. The New York Post is reporting not only is Diddy not testifying, but his legal team isn't planning on calling a single witness in his defence. Alex, I'm not a lawyer, but this seems rather a risky approach.
Well, I'm not an attorney either, but I do think that they say that if you are, a criminal, it's better to not go on the stand so that you don't perjure yourself, or I guess that he doesn't, get caught up in some sort of web of lies by the prosecution. So maybe it is smart for him to not go on the stand, but let's be real. And I know this is an unpopular position to take. When it comes to this case and everything that I've heard so far, Puff Daddy might be the most repugnant human being in the world. But according to this case, everything seems to have been consensual. And it seems like there was a lot of money and baby oil and disgusting actions. But I think some people in this case need to take some sort of self-responsibility. So if Puff Daddy gets off from this court case, it's going to be like the O.J. Simpson trial. I mean, he's going to be a hero, Rita, for all the wrong reasons. So I kind of hope that doesn't happen. But I also hope that, justice is served and that he doesn't go to jail unnecessarily if he didn't really commit the crime that they're accusing him of.
Well, we don't know what the jurors think of some of the footage they've seen because no one else has seen it. Federal prosecutors on Monday showed the jurors around 20 minutes of footage from these so-called freak-offs, and the videos were only viewed by the jury due to the very graphic nature. So I don't know. I mean, again, just because it's repugnant doesn't mean it's illegal. So yeah, it'll be fascinating to see the outcome of this case. Before you go, Alex, I know you're very sad because Pride Month is almost over. You've been very active throughout June. How close have you come to being arrested or perhaps being assaulted with some of your antics?
Well, you know, Rita, June is a good month when it comes to clicks, but in reality, I'm ready for it to be over because, listen, I love my gay brothers and sisters, but do we need a whole month to just celebrate somebody's sexuality? I mean, come on, a week is long enough. So I'll be happy when this holiday is over. And unfortunately, I will say this, you know, getting all these clicks and confronting drag queen story times, sadly, this stuff goes on even when it's not June. So just because June's ending doesn't mean that all of this weird indoctrination is going to stop.
Alex Stein, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rita.